Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It doesn't matter where you're listening into us. Welcome to the Growth Edge. This is your favorite conversation by the African MSME Collective, where we bring insights that are actionable and realistic that you can put to work today, even tomorrow, and get impact quickly. We at the SME, for African MSME Collective, empower MSME leaders to launch, grow, and thrive in business. We also help other business leaders to find their sweet spot and succeed. So let me debunk something first. Just because we work with MSMEs does not mean you cannot benefit. And I've heard of people, they hear MSME and they shut off. I'm in corporate. Come, have a seat. And the reason I say come and have a seat is because leadership skills are leadership skills. The difference is how you deploy them, how you live them out, and who you become. So we work through strategic connections and engagement. We foster the growth of entrepreneurial leadership. Entrepreneurial leadership doesn't have to mean you're running a business. It is a mindset, it is a way of thinking, it is a way of shifting and transforming. And at the end of it, through collaboration, we drive transformational economic change. We help create jobs because every business we work with creates a job or two, some actually 4, 5 to 10. And what that does is we're able to employ more and more people. We have a sustainable development across Africa's business landscape. This week I was in a meeting and somebody was complaining, oh, government this, government that. And I realized that the role of government is to create policies and environments. Our role as private sector is to trade. And if the particular policy is not working, our role is to feed back information through the required channels and cause shifts. So that is who we are, and that is why we do what we do at the African MSME Collective. My name is Chesubire Twala Greg, and I'm your host of The Growth Edge. It's been an amazing 30-year journey in, with, and working for MSMEs. I would not have it any other way. But this is not my show. And this is definitely not stories of building SMEs. We should probably will do a show called that. But today we're talking about customer insights because this is the SME month. And we want to have the whole conversation. If you followed us, we've talked about documentation, we've talked about money, we've talked about your mindset. Now we want to talk about how listening to your customers helps you get ahead. As always, on the seat, I will neither term it hot or cold. It might be a mix of both for the duration of the show. Is one, the original Joe Mukoko. Joe, how are you?
The original is fine. The original is well. I was enjoying the conversation the way you have started it. I don't know why you are saying it's not your show. You're part of the show. So what do you mean it's not your show? But yes, I'm well and fine. Grateful to be here.
You know me well enough to know that I could talk and take the whole show. That's why I say it's not
Ah,
my show, it's our
even if
show.
you take the whole show, it will get to somewhere and you'll just have to give back the show. But it's okay. So we are here.
Now you can see why I call him the original Mukoko. He always has something up his sleeves. Before we start, though, Joe, there is a story I'd
Mm-hmm.
like you to tell. Here internally, we call it the airport story. Because when we talk about customer insights, what we're really looking at is what segment of the market do we serve and how can we gain knowledge from them. And you had an airport incident that really showcased customer insights for us. Would you mind telling us that one?
Thank you, Chesubere. Life is very interesting. And sometimes when we are going about our assignment, we do not realize how things just come across your path that you did not expect, or you find yourself mingling with potential customers or potential data points. I was off to go and support one of our clients who had called on an emergency basis and said, I'm having this challenge with my team. So if you are able to, kindly go spend the morning with them, close the workshop for me, but just talk to them and find out what the challenges and issues are. I'm having a problem getting through to them. I said, okay. So off I go, and I arrive at the airport very early in the morning at about 5, 5 a.m. So 5 a.m. ordinarily, I was not expecting to meet anyone that I know at the airport. You know, they just go and they're like, okay, this is a quick trip, go, sha, come. Eh? And you check into the airport and shock on you, and they're like, hiya. Oh, sorry, for those who are not in Kenya, I just exclaimed, I was like, wow, this guy is here, this guy is here, this guy is here, this guy. I know these people from different angles and spaces, but they all connect with what we do at at AMC. So it was very interesting because now, of course, networking does not just happen in hotels and where they tea. Networking also happens at 5 a.m. in the morning. I have to go and say hello, introduce one to the other, and just chit chat and catch up. And some of those people are people we've been trying to reach and network with. So it was very interesting that early in the morning, before we boarded the plane, in 1 hour, I had gathered a lot of information. And when we landed, as we all waited to pick our transport to our various locations, you get some more information again. Now, those insights are very interesting because by by at some point of the day, I was already texting Chesubre and saying, hey, yeah, this is what's happening in the ecosystem. This is what we need to look out for. This is how we need to position this product. Very, very interesting. For a 2-day activity that was supposed to be a quiet activity, you sneak in, support your customer, and come back. Back to you, Chesubre.
What stands out for me, and that's why I'm laughing, is there is information about your customer segment everywhere. If you know what you're looking for and if you are attentive to things. And so, why is it important for us to have this intimate knowledge of our customers? Because you see, the reason you could pick up those insights and we could translate them into our programs and our products, and they could confirm what we already know, is because when you had them, there was a something that you are holding space in your mental and let me use that spiritual ecosystem so that when you had it, you identified where it could fit. But why is that important?
Thank you, Chesubre. Insight, I would define it as a deep understanding about your customer that we derive from analyzing various forms of information that we come across. And the reason we're coming across this information, or rather we need this information, remember, what is our objective as a business? Or what even is your objective as a business? Is to have long-term loyalty from the customers that you serve. I'm selling today, I would still like to sell to them tomorrow and still like to sell to them next year. But by the time they're buying from me next year, it's about loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
I've also we will also have reduced our churn rate if I understand our customers better, because we are giving them products and services that they want, not what Chesubire and Joe are thinking about. You and I could design a very good product and service and think, wow, this is it. But then no one picks.
Yeah.
And it's just sitting on the shelf.
Mm.
Remember the story I told you about should I call him my friend or a potential client? Oh, he was a one-off client. And he retired with a handshake. Okay, for those who are not from Kenya, handshake is you get your benefits, then go do with it what it is you want after you've retired. And because he has this benefit, he decided he's going to open a shop, a spares shop, like his neighbor. And off he went to go and open his spares shop. Brought in 3 containers of spares. 9 months later, his sales were not like his neighbor. So my question to him that time was, who are your customers? Do you understand your customers? Did they tell you, go and bring containers of these items that you've placed in the shelves that you're telling me not to sell? Now, when we collect the information, it helps us dig deeper into the why, customer behaviors, preferences, and motivations. And it's important for us to have this conversation. Remember, this is a semi-month. We are in month 6 of the year. You've been selling, you've been trying to sell, you want to start selling. Are you understanding your customer behaviors, their preferences, and motivations? Why should they choose you? Thank you.
Then, if I'm hearing you right, we actually should be preparing for the half-year review.
Yes, we should prepare for the half-year review. And the best way for us to prepare for the half-year review is to review our customers. Why are they with us? Why are they still buying from us? Why are they choosing to be loyal to us? That why is very important to have it answered. Their behaviors, their preferences, their motivations. What is motivating them to choose us over our competitor?
Behavior, preference, and
Behavior,
motivation.
preference, motivation.
And that's really why people buy from us. I mean, I'm thinking in terms of, let's even look at local supermarket chains. You can have a Quick Mart at Naivas. Let me use bus station. At bus station, we have Naivas across the road, Quick Mart at this corner, and just like literally half a shop down from Quick Mart is East Mart. And each of those supermarkets attracts a different customer of this whole base that is going to the bus stop. Now, there are those of us who will go to Quick Mart because it is a certain quality, but it's also spacious. East Mart is a bit more cramped, Naivas a little bit farther, but those are surface reasons why we would go there. There are people who, whatever happens, they will never step into a Quick Mart. They're always going to Naivas. So you can't just assume that just because you're the closest to the stage, that people will come in. So then customer insights. So let me ask you, what information are we gathering? You've already talked about behavior, preference, and motivation, but are there any, because those are qualitative, they are emotional, they are soft. What are the big numbers that we should be looking at?
Okay. Now, the most, I would call them, you can collect as much information as you want.
Wait. When you say that there's
But
not anything like too much information?
no, there's nothing like too much information because you see from the information you collect, then you come and analyze it. So remember, you have to collect and then you have to come and sit down and go through it and sift through. Because it's information that will be, okay, I don't like calling it useless, but not useful at this particular
Unused.
hour.
Unused right now.
Exactly. Now, for most businesses, the most important insights that we need to collect, one is behavioral data. And this could be the purchase history. What are they buying? And how often are they buying it?
Mhm.
How are they interacting with us before they buy that product?
Mhm.
Is it through phone calls, social media, emails, activations? Where are they coming to deal with us? Then what we call the psychographic data. What is their motivation to purchase this from us?
Mm,
Is it their lifestyle? Is it their value? Is it their interest?
mm,
Then that now allows us to come down and look at their demographic. Who are these people? So this is their behavior. These
mhm,
are their lifestyle. And
mm,
then now the demographic. Could be in terms of age, gender, location, or occupation. Those are things we need to see because that helps us to actually position our products better. You see, I could do a shoe and say this shoe is for 50-year-old men like Joe Mukoko.
mm,
Then you come and find that that shoe is actually not being bought by 50-year-olds, it's being bought by 30-year-olds. Now you have to come back and look at it again. Then the customer feedback that that we normally collect. Remember,
mm,
the qualitative and quantitative.
mhm,
How was our product? How did it serve you? Or
mhm,
even like you and I, when we are having our shows now and we have them in a group,
mhm,
try and find out what is working best.
mhm,
That is also very important. Then your own financial record.
mhm,
How are your sales? How are your purchases? Did you have any cash left? Were there products that were brought back? It's very important to have that because remember, products brought back means it's cash going out of your business again, cash that had already come in.
mm,
Mm. And then one of the things that we normally don't like doing as businesses, but getting competitor data from our own customers.
mm,
Who else do you buy from? Why do you buy from them?
mm.
Those are the ones that we should be keenly looking at this phase, this first half of the year.
That one of competition, many of us say, I don't want to know what they're doing, yet that could be the difference between success and sustainability and the disappearing of the market.
I like that. Success, sustainability, and disappearing of the market. Remember, if we go back and play down to their behavioral data, their purchase history, you could be selling a product that they need to use every week. They are only purchasing from you twice in a month. So
Mm.
the other 2 weeks,
Where
who
are
is
they?
sorting them out?
Mm, mm,
You need this every week, but you're only buying from me twice or once a month. Who
mm,
is filling in the gap? And why are they filling in the gap? You see, now this getting all these insights will be able to help us see what are our strengths and then where are our areas of challenge that we need to improve on.
mm. You remind me of the butchery where we buy goat meat from. It's a very simple arrangement. It's Paul, hi, wana nyama? Do you have meat? Okay. And then her common question is kilo ngapi? How many kilos? Mkono, mamguu, mambavu, the leg, the arm, or the ribs. And then ni ya nani? Whose is it? Why? Because we buy for my mom a lot. Now my mom is older. She still has good teeth, but I want her to get the most succulent piece of meat. So I nowadays when I show up, she's like, Nia, who is it? Whose is it? I'm like, Mother. That's mom. And there is a way they prepare. And then, oh, the last question is Mbechi, Ama, Choma, raw or roasted. Now, we didn't do that maybe for 2 to 3 months because we had gone to another butchery. We were a bit far, but the goat meat was well priced, good stuff. So we bought there. I know she called me and she said, you haven't shopped from me for a while. Are you okay? Now, I used to get my potatoes and stuff from her because she has a vegetable business also. She's like, alafu waru hujanunua siku mingi. Also, potatoes you haven't bought often. Now, she introduced me to a guy who sells sweet potatoes and arrowroots. And this guy goes to the main wholesale market. And he said, if you need shopping, I can be going to Marikiti for you. So now she introduced me to a plug for one thing, who became my plug for all my shopping. But by meeting this guy, our monthly shopping went down by half. And it's all from the place of, because he simply asked, I go to Marikiti, would you like me to do your shopping? It was a simple question. I did the math of I have to find time to go to the local or to the supermarkets because of the quality of what we're looking for. Two, this guy will deliver it. I know he marks it up from wholesale price, which is fine because it is a retail job, but it lands in the compound at the door. But she called. Where do you get your potatoes these days? I said, oh, and I can't tell her it's her guys. I said, oh, I got a guy who does all my shopping in Marikiti. So it's like, that price I can't beat. Because what she should be charging me 1,300 for 10 kilos of potatoes is charging me between 900 and 900 and 1,000. So it's really important to get those customer insights. And I like this conversation we're having. But then you said something. Sometimes we collect information and we don't use it. And you also talked about analyzing the information. So we've gotten this whole spreadsheet of we have the demographics, we have why they buy, we have how often they buy. We found out that um uh, they're buying X number of times a week, but they're only buying for us Y number of times. We have the financials. We know how much we purchased. We know how much we sold. We know how many are returns. And then,
And then let's figure out if we are profitable or not. Remember, you talked about sustainability.
Zimingi, a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but remember this: all this information that we are gathering is
Mm,
supposed to validate our business model.
mm,
What is our promise to our customer? But as we are telling the customer, this is our promise to you, what is our promise to ourselves as business owners? Now, am I targeting the right customer segment? And if I am targeting the right customer segment, is my value proposition strong enough to ensure that they can keep on buying from me? You see, your interaction, this gentleman had one revenue stream from you. By figuring you out and him giving you a very strong value proposition, he developed another revenue stream from you. So I just don't have one, I have two. Why are we sorting out all these products and services? Remember, we are the most important, or some of the most important things are for us to determine, are we putting out products services that customers want? Or
mm.
it's based on, this is what I'm doing. Now, this will ensure that whatever we are doing is customer centric. The products and services are customer focused. It's for the right target market, the right value proposition. We are communicating to them right. And as we are doing all this and sorting out their issues, then we can be able to generate enough revenue to keep us going.
If I'm hearing you right, revenue is a byproduct of meeting a need.
Yes, 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 Jesudri. Should I call it a byproduct or a product of meeting a need?
Well, because if you don't meet
Remember,
a need, you're not going. Okay, let's call it a product.
because if you're not meeting a need, and then why should they come to you? I
Yeah,
will I will put out the survey and ask you, you only bought once from me, but this is a product that is needed weekly.
Mm.
Why didn't you come back?
I
And
was
I'll tell
busy.
you, or I went to your competitor. No, this person has been sorting me out because they've been meeting my need better than your product is meeting my need.
It's painful. Oh, that's painful.
It's painful, eh?
That's not
It
why
is,
I'm in
but we need
business
to
to be
ask.
told like that.
You remember when we are running the Net Promoter Score and the customer effort score? We ask these questions, but are we genuine enough to say, I did a Net Promoter Score, and when I asked my customers, how likely are you to recommend me to your friends and relatives, and I got a 1 in my Net Promoter Score? Would I be willing enough to say I got a 1? And if you get a 1 in your Net Promoter Score, now that you've asked the customer, what are you doing about it? Would you go back and ask them, how then can I make sure that I am meeting your need so that you can give me your money? You're laughing. There must be something that has gone through your mind.
I have just thought, eh? So I
Uh-huh.
send out my team members to do net promoter score and they tell me they got a 1. I will tell you, you
Uh-huh.
asked the wrong question. It cannot be that it's a 1. It's another average SME response. It can't be. Haizi kwa hivyo.
And that's why we recommend that when you're doing your Net Promoter Score, so that it is not, you cannot, how do I put it? You cannot change the information as it comes. You alter the data. Please use please use scientific sheets like a Google sheet or Survey Monkey, something that because it will have originated from your customer, not from your team. You know, when they give it to you, it doesn't shock you, and you think, "Hey,
Oh.
this guy just went and manipulated data." You know.
So that also speaks to another thing.
Uh,
In the training recently, we said to ourselves, let's not be so in love with our businesses that we cannot see the faults. Our business ideas must be customer centric, like you said. I like to say, keep the customer at the center. So if your teams go out and bring insights that you don't like, in fact, do you remember we're running an ideation series? You remember that? And then somebody asked, what if you go out and assess your market and you find that what your market wants is not what you have? And the person was asking from the perspective of, can I change the market? We're like, no, the market have told you what they want. Change your product. So it's the same thing. Your net promoter score is a 1. I'm like, no, I think mine is a 9. And you're sitting, oh my goodness. Business owners, please, well, let's work together and make sure that these things just come out the way they're supposed to come. If I take this thing off the rails because I am so tickled, what would
no,
be
no.
your parting shot? What would be your parting shot to a business owner? Like really, like for real.
My parting shot for the business owner, I would go back to the statement that you've just made about making sure that we can see the faults.
Mm,
When we sit and we talk to businesses,
mm,
remember we don't look for perfection, we look for excellence, and excellence is about progress. I will ask them to get the information from your customers, talk to them, talk to them, talk to them, get the feedback. If it is good, very nice, very well, congratulations. But don't sit on your laurels. Make it better.
mm.
If it is good, make it better. If it is better, make it best. If
And
it
if
is
it's
not yet
best,
good, if it is best,
mm,
you start again.
mm,
If you are not yet quite there, all is not lost.
mm,
Gather the information you have received from your customer
mm.
and figure out what can you do to improve your product, your service, and the overall customer experience. If you cannot be able to do it on your own, please get a professional, get an accountability partner. You know, when customers give us this feedback, it is very important. Remember, if you're doing 1,000 units of a product, you cannot buy all of them to consume on your own. You need a market to consume those 1,000 products. So make sure that the insights you get will help you improve your product, your service, and your overall customer experience. Thank you.
There you have it. Customer insights is all about keeping the customer at the center. It's also about confirming and ensuring that you are indeed meeting their needs. And finally, it's about excellence, which means we're tracking progress, not perfection. Many of us get stuck when we're looking for perfection, but what you need to do is to be growing daily, consistently, and moving forward. So if you're good, get better. If you're better, get to the best. And if you're best, start the cycle again. So if you thought that customer insights was a one-off, it is not. So as you go back into your business and as we sign off from this show, please remember that customer insight is a consistent process. There is no end to pursuing insight. There is no end to growing your business. There is no end to improving your services. But also understand that customer insight will mirror for you whether you are sustainable, profitable business. And that's why we exist, to be sustainable and profitable. So I sign off as Chasubire. This is and has been the Growth Edge, where we facilitate you with daily insights that will be actionable and transform your business in a blink. For us at the African MSME Collective, we thank you and see you at the next episode.